Good day, Rongo Talk viewers. Adam Hartman here. We are here in our special studio at Plaza Meer Mall, Swakopmund. Welcome, and today we'll bring you the tides, the weather. We'll bring you some news, as well as our interview with Crystal Ann Rautenbach, who recently had an event called Mimosas, which tried to inspire women, help them have a vision, goals to work towards too. And it was apparently a very successful event, and we will hear more about that later, so stay tuned. Now for the news. Clearing agents want entry requirements lowered. Now, the Namibia Revenue Agency's race to enforce new rules to regulate Namibia's more than 300 clearing agents faces stiff resistance after the agents warned that the current entry requirements could leave many of them jobless. Serious concerns were raised about the pass mark set for the proficiency test that people applying for licensing as a clearing agent write. According to the proposed rules, applicants must attain a 70% and higher mark to qualify. These were some of the sentiments that were raised at a consultative meeting held at Windhoek earlier this week. There are currently over 300 active clearing agents who act on behalf of importers and exporters and arrange customs, clearance and trade merchandise. NAMRA has made it clear that those who sit for the test can only sit again after 6 months, and this was another issue that was raised by the agents because they said that during this 6 months they are not allowed to conduct any business. And therefore there were some proposals that the second opportunity tests to be written should be done sooner. One of the agents said, this is essentially an entry mark to trade. Why is this mark of 70% then? The exam we wrote last was very theoretical. Sadly, we cannot learn in a few days of training. For instance, for the driver's license, you have a learner's book where questions for the test are taken from. In our case, we were given a lot of resources, material without an indication as to what we should focus on. And this is a heavy burden for the agents. For our next story, investment giants are set to convene in Swakopmund tomorrow and Friday. The Namibian Institutional Investment Forum 2022 will be held at the Plaza Hotel under the theme Harnessing Alternative Investment to Drive Economic Recovery. With participation capped at 100, the forum brings together senior investment professionals from the Namibia investment funds and asset management industry and some international participants. The program will feature regulators and policymakers whose decision has a direct impact on investment decisions by pension funds, insurance companies, development, financial institutions, and other institutional and private investors. Speaking in an interview, Michael Ndenisa, Chief Executive Officer of MNC Capital Group, said, "We are really excited about the prospects of hosting the most comprehensive institutional investment forum in Namibia. This forum has been designed with a deliberate inclination towards the discussion of the formulation of pragmatic solutions, challenges, and the alignment of investment structures, regulations, and best practices with current global expectations and competitiveness." Namibia recently registered a record high in investment leads, 80% over the usually expected number. These leads mainly focused on the green hydrogen aspects, with other leads showing interest in industries such as agriculture and tourism. Our final story is a sweet story. Sweetside wag vir Namibië se soettande. Werkloos en met net 'n staatstoelaag van $750 in haar sak, het Venice Plaatjie die bakkery Sweetside op die been gebring, wat in handgemaakte oliebolle, koeke en kolwyntjies spesialiseer. Sweetside het aanvanklik in Augustus 2020 as 'n geldinsamelingsinisiatief begin om 'n liedjie te finansier wat ek by Nautilus Studio wou opneem. Met die kapitaal van my besigheid, die 750 wat die regering aan werklooses verskaf het, toe COVID toegeslaan het, het ek in my ma se kombuis begin bak. Ek het dit op my WhatsApp status gesit en my kontakte het bestellings geplaas. Ek het binne 'n week daarin geslaag om my geldinsamelingsdoelwit te bereik, maar het besef hierdie onderneming kan soveel meer wees as net om geld in te samel. Afgesien van haar nou gevestigde bakkery, is Vernice in die musiekkringe bekend as 'n sangeres met 'n kragtige stem. Sweetside het intussen so gegroei dat sy 'n klein bakkery agter haar ma se huis opgerig het, wat heerlike oliebolle aan haar eerste winkel in Walvisbaai se middedorp verskaf. Die eerste winkel is in 2021 geopen. Die Sweetside bakkery het onlangs na 'n groter ruimte vertrek. Oliebol liefhebbers kan nou sit en aan hul gunstelingsbederf smil. Ek was tot dusver gelukkig genoeg om 5 mense in diens te neem. Ons het ook ons verskeidenheid vergroot en verkoop nou ook tuisgemaakte pastye wat tot dusver 'n treffer is. Ons bied 'n verskeidenheid oliebolgeure van suiker en sjokolade tot soet spek, melktert en vele meer. My langtermyn doelwit is om na ander dorpe in Namibië uit te brei, want almal verdien om die heerlikheid van 'n varsgebakte Sweetside bolletjie te ervaar. Venice sê sy het nooit in haar wildste drome gedink sy sou eendag 'n sake-eienaar word nie. Sy inspireer. Sy sê, voorheen was ek skaam om te erken dat ek graad 6 gedryf het. Maar dit het nie my huidige sukses beïnvloed nie. Moenie toelaat dat vorige mislukkings jou toekomstige suksesse bepaal nie. Ek erken, dit is uitdaging om 'n sake-eienaar in hierdie moeilike tye te wees, maar dis die moeite werd. Jaag jou drome aan. What a great note to close off our news bulletins with.
Welcome here today. At an event like this, we always say that you all look beautiful. But what I want to say today is that if you are here today, you are teachable. So give yourself a round of applause. And the reason why I highlight that you are teachable is I believe that it's one of the very crucial attributes that someone can have, because we learn as we go. Yes, so like I said, that when we are teachable, you will see the progress in your life. And I will put emphasis on one of the scriptures that the Lord gave me, why we are here today. But let me just first introduce myself. I am Crystal Ann Rautenbach. I'm married to Alvin Rautenbach. In case if you are wondering who is hier's klomp kinders en hier's 'n man, it's my family. So don't worry. Yes, when we do things, we do it together. So I'm married to Alvin Rautenbach. I have 2 beautiful daughters, Shekinah. She's 7 and Shakayla will be 14. Going on 18 soon. I, alongside my husband, we are senior elders of a ministry here in Swakopmund, Kingdom Gateway Swakopmund, and part of my profession is to be a photographer, I also have Pursuing True Beauty. Pursuing True Beauty started in 2020 when COVID also happened. So good things did happen during COVID. This was in a time when the Lord showed me that my time with nails is done. That was after 10 years. And I asked the Father, so what am I going to do now? Because I don't want to do nothing. And then the Lord showed me that this is actually a platform that I can use. The name Pursuing True Beauty comes from part of what the Lord is revealing to me is the holistic view of true beauty from the Word. So what I'm sharing here today, I walk in. I don't say something that I can't testify of, and to put emphasis on that it actually works. So yes, that's just me in a nutshell. Yes, you will enjoy me. I did it 2 or 3 years ago, 2019, at one of our youth camps. And what it does is it just really reflects on how that, as we are sitting here today, those who don't know each other, you can actually see how that we are connected. Even if it's just with, I'm also 32, or I also have 2 children, or I'm also married. And the emphasis why we're here today is goal setting and self-reflection. So maybe someone here has the same goal as someone else, and you know, this is just how we connect to one another.
I just felt the Lord had something new for me. So this is my purpose for this year, to find out what it is. And another goal is I would like to run 10 kilometers in under an hour.
Daai is wat my vision vir hierdie jaar, om myself te vind en myself lief te hê, voor ek dit van iemand anders te mag. Want as dit nie regkom nie, sal dit nie reg wees nie.
Net soos ek gesê het, ek wil op myself werk, op myself vind. En ik wil trouw. Ja, ik wil trouw en ja, ik wil iets voor mezelf doen en ik wil ook bezigheid op, maar ik weet niet. Zoals Aisha gezegd heeft, zoals zelf vindt, goed met die handen, maar weet je precies wat doen te gaan. Maar.
And you guys have mentioned so many things that relate to what I want to share today, and that's why I said that if you are here and you are teachable. And it also just shows that that you've been chosen to be here today to hear what I want to share, because I will be sharing on self-reflection, how important that is, and also I will share a few tips on how to achieve goals. Because like someone shared here about, Evelyn shared about procrastinating. This is something that we find ourselves in without even realizing we are there. Or maybe we just struggle with, you know, planning a goal and actually achieving it. It was not by chance this morning when I went to one of the ladies, she does my embroidery. She asked me, so what are you doing? And, you know, sy was so vinnig weet, en ek sê, ek kan nie myself sê wat huis te gaan. But very quickly I shared with her what I will be sharing here today. And I asked her how old she is, because she looks 42. But she said she's 52, and I was like, yes, see. Then I'm so glad that I actually shared this with you before I asked you how old you are, because this does not have anything to do with how old you are. I believe that even if you are 60, you can achieve goals. Goals differ. And we also have a lady in our ministry in Walfish Bay, Tani Sophie. She's probably 65 already or something like that. En sy gaan vir julle weghardloop, julle wat so onder 10 minute, onder 10 kilos onder hoe, sy gaan vir julle weghardloop en sy is bo oor die 60. And her goal every year is to better in that and also to stay fit and healthy. There's a broader perspective to a vision than a goal. You are able to achieve your goal no matter what the age is. So you guys have mentioned, someone said here about time management. Lauren mentioned time management. It is important. It's important to plan and all of that. Or I want to quickly just tell you why I chose, or how I came across this topic and why I chose to speak about self-reflection and goal setting. What I've realized about reflecting, if you are intentional with your reflection, like with myself, when I prepared the notes, I will not forget that day in a long time. De gevoel gaan in 'n jong depressie in, because I intentionally took in what the Lord was sharing with me, and it really stirred me. So I felt happy for some things that I achieved, and I felt so unhappy because why are these things the way they are? Have I done proper planning, and have I set out? So what self-reflection does, it really, when you become intentional, it helps you to think of things that maybe have to move out of the way, things that you have been holding on to for too long, that is prohibiting things to happen. So yes, it does. Self-reflection is to become intentional with yourself. This is where you are honest with yourself. This that you see here, ja, dit lyk net soos 50 geprinte bladsye, maar dit is nie. Hier is baie werk hier ingesit. It was done intentionally. And what this journal is about is basically self-reflection and journaling. So I just quickly want to run through the journal with you. This journal will be available for purchase. And some of the things in the journal is there's a mini vision board. There are prompts that you can reflect on. There's a short piece on where you can reflect on last year. What I want to say is from the youngest person here today listening and to the oldest person here today listening, there is nothing that you try to accomplish that you cannot accomplish unless you put yourself to it. So procrastination happens when, that I will share just now, but procrastination also happens when when you look around too much, because you've set your mind on something and now you see, that one's doing that, and it actually looks like it's working, it looks like it's generating, and so let me also, rather than try that, maybe so dat jy dis bietjie dom en vat maar ek gaan net nou hierdie ding probeer, want lyk die toiletpapier verkoop beter as die scrunchies. So we want to be scam uses your life in balance, you see. There is nothing wrong with that. That is exactly why we are here. This is why we journal and reflect, so that we can come to a more balanced
spirit and in truth. quality restaurants, a select variety of fashion and food retailers, as well as banks. Not to mention the pier with 36 luxury apartments and entertainment for the whole family. Find us at corner of Tabarite and Albatross Street, Vineta North, Swakopmund. Call us on 064 462 242. Visit platamir.com.na or at Platamir on Facebook. Platamir, enhancing your coastal experience.
Hi, I'm Bronwyn West, your favorite creativity specialist, and it's time to think like a negotiator. In this episode, I'd like to cover Tactic 4, which is the meet it or beat it tactic. This is a run and gun style of negotiation tactic. These styles are best used for informal situations that we all find ourselves in every single day. For this specific tactic to work, you're going to have to do some research. If you want to get something and you want to get it at a better price or a better value, then you're going to have to do some research. Once you have that research, then you're going to use it to negotiate for a better price, a better position, or a better value or better outcome for what you want. As an example, let's say Apex Electronics has this phone for 20%. And you've got the flyer in hand and all kinds of things. Now you go to Beta Electronics and you ask them, why should I buy this phone from you at a 20% increase when I can buy it for cheaper someplace else? Right? Keep in mind that matching the price is not enough. They can't just lower the price because they have to meet it and beat it. Right? So just matching the price is not enough. Just lowering it by 20% is not enough. Because again, that's just bartering. You can just go someplace else, anywhere. Why should you buy it from them? So they have to come up with a better value or a position or a statement or something that is going to justify the price difference or why you should be buying it from them rather than from their competitors. Now use this tactic anytime there is something wrong with the deal. If you're buying a display item that you can negotiate for a discount or extended warranty or even both. If the interest is too high with your bank, go find a different bank and see what their interests are like. Then you take that information back to your original bank and you say, look, I want a better rate because otherwise I can just as well go to a different bank, right? Easy as that. Now, keep in mind that people don't like being told they're wrong. It makes them defensive, less flexible when trying to negotiate. If you do draw their attention to something that is clearly false or just a lie, then it's a good idea to try and not negotiate with them. Right? So if they take offense to something and they huff themselves up and they try and make a scene, all kinds of things, leave it. It's not worth your time. Right? Now, if this tactic is used against you, counter it with some research of your own and highlight the added value from buying from you. As an example, let's say you are Apex Electronics and the customer comes into you and say, why should I buy this phone or this thingamabob from you where I could just buy the same thing at a very much reduced price at Beta Electronics. They say, look, I can give you this phone for 20% discount, or rather I can add more value to make up for the difference, right? So it's all about adding more value. It's all about making a difference. It's all about thinking win-win. So with this, I hope it's been useful. I hope that it's been valuable. If
In Wednesday's weather report, for Walvis Bay the sun will set 24 minutes past 7 and will rise 2 minutes past 7 on Thursday. Walvis Bay will experience a maximum of 22 degrees Celsius with a minimum of 18 and a maximum of 22 degrees Celsius predicted for Thursday. A west-southwesterly wind will prevail with a speed of 13 kilometers per hour. For Swakopmund, the sun will set 24 minutes past 7 and will rise 2 minutes past 7 on Thursday. Swakopmund will experience a maximum of 21 degrees Celsius with a minimum of 17 and a maximum of 21 degrees Celsius predicted for Thursday. A west-southwesterly wind will prevail with a speed of 11 kilometers per hour. For Henties Bay, the sun will set 24 minutes past 7 and will rise 3 minutes past 7 on Thursday. Henties Bay will experience a maximum of 21 degrees Celsius with a minimum of 18 and a maximum of 21 degrees Celsius predicted for Thursday. A south-southwesterly wind will prevail with a speed of 11 kilometers per hour. For Arandis, the sun will set 22 minutes past 7 and will rise 7 o'clock on Thursday. Arandis will experience a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius with a minimum of 21 and a maximum of 32 degrees Celsius predicted for Thursday. A southwest wind will prevail with a speed of 11 kilometers per hour. For Usakos, the sun will set 19 minutes past 7 and will rise 2 minutes to 7 on Thursday. Usakos will experience a maximum of 36 degrees Celsius with a minimum of 21 and a maximum of 37 degrees Celsius predicted for Thursday. A north-northwesterly wind will prevail with a speed of 11 kilometers per hour. For Karibab, the sun will set 18 minutes past 7 and will rise 3 minutes to 7 on Thursday. Karibab will experience a maximum of 35 degrees Celsius with a minimum of 20 and a maximum of 36 degrees Celsius predicted for Thursday. A north wind will prevail with a speed of 11 kilometers per hour. And lastly, for Omaruru, the sun will set 17 minutes past 7 and will rise 4 minutes to 7 on Thursday. Omaruru will experience a maximum of 35 degrees Celsius with a minimum of 20 and a maximum of 36 degrees Celsius predicted for Thursday. A southeast wind will prevail with a speed of 7 kilometers per hour. And that was your Wednesday weather report.
That brings us to the end of our show. Thank you for joining us. If you want to read more about our news, you can go to our website at irongo.com.na. For news tips, you can drop us a line at the below number and email address. You can also visit us on our social media platforms, as well as our broadcast links, which is oneup2.com.na. We wish you a wonderful day further.